I'm here today with Lance Lamb. He's one of our library pages at the Excelsior Springs branch of the Mid-Continent Public Library. He's also a lifelong resident of Excelsior Springs and kind of a local historian. Now Lance, when I started working at the Excelsior Springs branch back in 2010, I really didn't know much at all about local history or the history of library service in Excelsior Springs. And it's something that you and I kind of talked about quite a bit, and you ended up taking on kind of a research project for us. Can you tell us a little bit about the research that you did and what you were able to uncover?
Yes, I've been doing research for well over a year now, and it's still a work in progress. I have looked at a lot of old newspapers, I've done a lot of research online, and I've looked in the extensive collection that the headquarters of Mid-Continent and Independence has of scrapbooks that include documents and different newspaper clippings and other information about the history of all the branches.
Okay. And it turns out that the Excelsior Springs Library, the original Excelsior Springs Library, was actually the first public library anywhere in the Mid-Continent Public Library District. The Mid-Continent District is a pretty large library district. It's made up of 3 different counties, so there are a lot of different communities in this district, but Excelsior Springs was the first of those communities that actually had public library service.
That's true. It began in 1909. It's actually started by a group of ladies called the Civic Improvement Association, which organized in 1903, and they did a lot of beautification projects for the city of Excelsior Springs, and their big goal was to start a public library, which they were able to do. And it was a big deal because the population of Excelsior Springs was about 3,000, but we had like over 250,000 tourists come every year because of the mineral waters here. So it was a booming town, and these ladies actually got the library started in 1909. It was the earliest in the district.
Okay, and that was the first of 5 different locations where the library has been here in Excelsior Springs, both before and after it became part of the Mid-Continent Public Library System in the late 1960s. And we're actually going to visit all 5 of those locations, including having a tour of our current facilities here. Now, we're here at the original location of the Excelsior Springs Library down at 244 East Broadway. It was actually located right across the street there in the 2nd floor of the building. And Lance, I understand there's kind of an interesting story about how the Civic Improvement Association made a deal with the city of Excelsior Springs to be able to use that space for their public library.
That's right. The city owned the building at the time, and the first floor were the public restrooms for the city of Excelsior. And the ladies of the CIA made an agreement where they could use the 2nd floor for the library if they would take care of the restrooms on the 1st floor. And they had a 5-year agreement with the city, although it did last 7 years.
And after that 7-year period, in 1916, the library actually moved right down the street to the Carnegie Building, which we'll go ahead and walk down there and take a look at that as well. Here we are at the 2nd location of the Excelsior Springs Library. It's actually 339 East Broadway, right here across the street. And this was a building that was built with a $10,000 grant from the Andrew Carnegie Foundation. What can you tell us about this location?
Well, it opened to the public on October 1st, 1916. And it remained a public library until 1973. In 1968, it actually merged with the Mid-Continent Library System and became the Mid-Continent Library at that time.
The Mid-Continent Public Library was actually established in 1965, so Excelsior Springs was a pretty early member. And this was the location of the Excelsior Springs branch, the first Excelsior Springs branch of Mid-Continent Public Library. Now we're here at the Crown Hill Shopping Center, which is on the west end of town, and this is where both the 3rd and 4th locations of the library were here in Excelsior Springs. The 3rd location and the 2nd location of the Excelsior Springs branch of Mid-Continent Public Library was right here where Brown's Drugs is located today. And that was the Excelsior Springs branch from 1973 until 1985. Now also, for about a year, from 1985 to 1986, the library was temporarily housed in the same shopping center just a few feet away where H&R Block is today. And that was just a temporary location while our current facility was being built. Here we are back at our 5th and current location of the Excelsior Springs branch of Mid-Continent Public Library. This was opened in 1986, and we're going to be going inside and get a little bit the better look at our facilities today. Well, we're standing here right now inside of the facility. This is the library that opened in 1986. It's about a 10,000 square foot facility, and we have a collection of about 80,000 items. Where I'm actually standing right now is our programming area. We don't just have books and other materials to check out. We also do a lot of library programs, not just story time and other children's programs, but really all sorts of different programs. I am standing close to the children's area, though. Over here to my right is where the children's collection is located, starting with books for infants and toddlers here, other picture books, and then moving back through the stacks. We have fiction for older kids and nonfiction books as well. Now here in the middle of the building is where our reading area is located. You can see the tables behind me. We also have some other materials in this area. Over here to my left is where we have all of our music CDs. Behind the music CDs, all of our magazines, which are available for checkout. The current issues are not, but any of the back issues that we keep are available for checkout. And over here to my right is actually one of our more high-demand areas. This is where we have our most requested authors section and all of our new books. We typically keep things over here for the first 6 months after we add them to the collection. So it is a high-demand area. And there are also a couple of things right here that I want to mention. We have a computer that's available for people to leave comments. So if you're ever here in the library and you have a comment, whether it's positive or negative, you can leave a comment here for us on this computer. You can do it either anonymously or you can leave an email address. And if you do leave an email address, we do respond to every one of those that we get. And right next to the comment computer, another interesting item that we've had for a few years, and we're probably going to be getting some more of these in the future, is our self-checkout station. And this is really handy for people who come in and check out items and don't want to wait around. There may be a line at the front desk with other people getting library cards or getting more detailed information, questions answered. So it's a good place to come if you want to just check your items out and get out of here. Now, in addition to the computers that we have for leaving comments and self-checking items out, we also have a couple of computers that are available out here on the floor of the library for looking up materials in our catalog. Basically, it works like any search engine would. You can put in a variety of different search terms and do either keyword or browse searches to find the materials that you're looking for. And if you don't know how to use the catalog, we certainly will be available to help you with that. I'm standing here in our teen area, and this is actually one of our newest areas that we've developed in the branch. When I started working here at the Excelsior Springs branch back in 2010, we really didn't have a well-defined teen area, so this has been a project that we've been working on for about the last year or so. Against the wall behind me are where all of our teen materials are located. We also have over here in the corner kind of a little more casual reading area specifically for teens. A bulletin board with a calendar and flyers promoting upcoming events. Also a display table where we can do displays of books and materials and other things that would be of interest to teens. And we also have lots of other AV materials in addition to the music CDs that I pointed out a little while ago. We have lots of audio books and DVDs especially have become quite popular here in the library over the last few years. And those are located on their own shelves right here behind me. And right next to those, in the first section, here to my right, is where our reserve materials, all of our holds, are kept. And this is basically a self-service hold pickup shelf. We keep things out here for people to pick up. They come in and they find their materials with a code on them that's based on some letters from their last name and some numbers from their library cards. So we do protect people's privacy of what they're checking out. But they can check those out, pick those up here, and check them out either at the desk or on our self-check machine. And right next to the hold shelf is where we have our 6 public access computers. And these provide internet access to people who don't necessarily have it at home or who are just needing internet access while they're out and about in town. They also have all the Microsoft Office programs on them, so they're especially useful for people who need to write papers or basically do any sort of work on the computer. So that's basically a short tour of the library as it is today. If you want to know more about our facilities or library services in general, just come on in. I'd be happy to give you a more in-depth tour, talk a little bit more in-depth about our services, and if I'm not around, our staff would be happy to help you as well.